Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Do you want to gas the juice? Come on, gas the juice. Come on, gas the juice, son.
Sieg heil. Sieg heil.
Do I gas the juice? Do I gas the juice? Gas the juice? Do I gas the juice? Do I gas the juice? Bitte. Do I gas the juice? Gas the juice? Gas the juice?
Sieg heil. Sieg heil. Sieg heil.
Man found guilty of a hate crime for a joke video of his dog doing a Hitler salute. An ominous precedent has been set as a man was just found guilty of a hate crime for making a joke video of a dog doing a Nazi salute, and he now faces the possibility of being thrown in prison for it. By Matt Agarist, March 20, 2018. An extremely disturbing precedent has just been set as a man's attempt at humor has gotten him charged with and convicted of a hate crime. Mark Meechan now faces prison for a tasteless joke to get a reaction from his girlfriend. In spite of apologizing, having no other history of racism, and providing a decent excuse as to why he would teach a dog to do a Hitler salute, the court, made up of apparently easily offended peers, found him guilty. As JC.com reports, Meechan, of Coatbridge, Lanarkshire, was convicted on Tuesday at Airdrie Sheriff's Court in Scotland. "My girlfriend is always ranting and raving about how cute and adorable her wee dog is," Meechum said. "And so I thought I would turn him into the least cute thing I could think of, which is a Nazi." The video shows the dog appearing to raise its paw in a Nazi salute when Hitler is heard proclaiming Sieg Heil, as the dog watches footage of a rally during the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin. Meechum can be heard on the footage asking the dog, "Buddha, do you want to gas the Jews, and who's a good wee Nazi?" But, does this activity actually rise to the level of a hate crime? Even according to Scotland's own laws, what Meechan did was not a crime, as the use of language alone does not constitute a hate crime unless it could reasonably be said to cause fear and alarm. For example, when a threat of violence is expressed, then hate crime legislation would apply. Meechan expressed no threats and did not reasonably try to instill fear by teaching his tiny pug to raise its paw upon the use of certain phrases. However, the court claims that the video did promote violence against Jews. Meechum was subsequently found guilty of violating the Communications Act of 2003, which criminalizes the use of public telecommunications to send messages that discriminate against others based on their religious beliefs. Critics of the video claim that it crosses the line from satire to promoting violence against Jews, with some claiming that any comedy using anything Hitler, or Nazi-related, normalizes Nazism. "I don't actually hate Jewish people, and the video was just an insight into the darker side of my humor, a prank to annoy my girlfriend, and that I did not intend for people, other than people who knew my comedy, to see the video," Meechan said, as he apologized for offending anyone. He then noted that the Holocaust was an awful thing, and should never have happened, but, "we still joke about it, because in our eyes laughing about terrible things often make them easier to deal with." And he's right. While it is certainly in poor taste to crack jokes about tragic events throughout history, humor is a way for many people to cope and understand such horrors. Sadly, this methodology is under attack. Anyone who has played cards against humanity could be guilty of this exact same thing. This court has taken the freedom of expression into consideration, Sheriff O'Carroll said. But the right to freedom of expression also comes with responsibility. Notice how the sheriff attempts to justify throwing a man in a cage for a year because it offended him. The accused knew that the material was offensive and knew why it was offensive. He would have known it was grossly offensive to many Jewish people, the sheriff explained. Others agreed that their offense to the matter should also be cause to deprive a man of his freedom and lock him in a cage. In many ways, the bit I found most offensive was the repetition of "gas the Jews" rather than the dog itself, Ephraim Borowski, director of the Scottish Council of Jewish Communities, SCOPWATCH, told the court. The other thing that struck me was the explicit statement that this was intended to give offense and intended to be the most offensive thing he could think of, and then he says he isn't a racist. But unfortunately we hear that all the time from people. I'm no historian, but it is the marching signal of the Nazi stormtroopers who contributed and supported the murder of 6 million Jews, including members of my own family, and I take this all slightly personally, Mr. Borowski continued, adding that the SCOPWATCH website had been bombarded with abusive comments after the video appeared online. Material of this kind goes to normalize the anti-Semitic views that frankly we thought we had seen the last of, he said. The Holocaust is not a subject for jocular content. The tragic irony, in this case, is that those who would lock a man in a cage for his freedom of speech, no matter how repugnant, have no idea how close they are coming to being like the people Meechan was joking about. Cases like this reveal exactly why the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment is so crucial. While some speech may be extreme and repulsive, the prohibition on certain ideas, even the most repugnant, being put into the public marketplace of ideas is a fast track to totalitarian governmental control, essentially legitimizing the thought police. Similar hate crime laws are common across much of Europe. As TFTP has reported, an 87-year-old woman was arrested and sentenced to 10 months in jail after being convicted of violating German hate speech laws after claiming that Jews were never exterminated in Auschwitz. Dubbed the neo-Nazi grandma, Ursula Haverbeck, who is well known for her extremist right-wing views, was convicted in a German court of violating hate speech laws. In the US, incitement of violence is criminal, but assaults against human dignity of others by insulting, malicious maligning, or defaming segments of the population are considered an exercise of free speech, and are protected under the First Amendment. Even the most crude or hurtful speech must be protected to safeguard against unwarranted exercise of governmental power in the form of the widespread censoring of thoughts and ideas that the government doesn't approve of in the name of keeping people safe. Unless inciting violence, the right of the people to share ideas, no matter how repugnant, is not something that governmental authorities should have the ability to censor, as it is seemingly the most basic of all natural rights. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Hall in Friends of Voltaire.
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.